Welcome back all to 8-Bit Benny versus the Ferret business. We are here on top of the tower in the house in the town, and you can see over my right shoulder to your left there's an ominous X over there. Over yonder I was working on prepping some area for what will eventually be our base of operations, and I might have gotten jumped by, two groups of harpies and a group of cockatrices. Oops. I got a little cocky because my sword and my crossbow are doing a lot of damage. I kind of neglected to see how much damage they were doing to me, which was actually quite significant. So, oops. That being said, I did finish putting down the outline of the walls so that I know where I want to put everything, or at least where I want to put the walls for the towers. There's a lot of decoration for the towers to go on, and I'm still making the living stone to put together the tower with. I might change my design because, quite frankly, there we go, that's better. Because, quite frankly, I don't think I'm going to have enough living stone, living rock to make as much as I want to. So, I'm going to have to come up with some other materials, and I'll have to use a combination of them to make something that looks nice, but doesn't take me 3 years to get enough material to build. Alright, what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to get further into our quest book, but first I want to look at some of the things I have done around the town. We can see that my pickaxe here has an extra color on it now. What happened was I have added some lapis to it to give it a bit of luck, so some fortune to it. That's just so that when we get down in the mines and we're getting, say, more diamond, that we will get more drops for every time we mine something like that. Diamonds and emeralds and things like that. Things that we don't have to smelt. I think that'll work also for coal, but we'll check that out. I did play with my flower pouch. I've been out collecting flowers all around the town, and I did find out that the flowers most of the time automatically go into the flower pouch. I did have some issue with some of the flowers stacking in my inventory. Seemed to be, I don't know, maybe a little bit of lag between the game and the flowers popping and me collecting them. I'm not quite sure. But most of the flowers did automatically go into the flower pouch, which is great. So I've got a good, decent stock of flowers. I also got tired of carrying a bed around with me, so I went and sheared some of the sheep, and I made myself a sleeping bag. So we're going to use that. What does a sleeping bag take to make? Let's find out. Let's look at the recipe, because I forget what it is. So our sleeping bag is going to take 4 pieces of carpet, which I believe is, yes, just 2 wool next to each other will give you 3 carpet. Hitting backspace to get back to our previous recipe. So 4 carpets and 4 pieces of wool gets a sleeping bag. What's a sleeping bag do for us? Well, right now, anywhere I am, if I have the sleeping bag in my hand and I right click, boom, we can sleep. Great thing about the sleeping bag is we can sleep wherever we are, and it does not disconnect us from our bed. So it lets us sleep through the night, and we still keep our bed as our spawn point should we die. So that's pretty cool, because then we can be out adventuring, sleep at any time we want without having to pull an item out, put it on the ground, sleep, then pull it back out, put it back in the backpack. It's just a right click. Lots of time. It's great. Saves us a lot of time. It's pretty fantastic. You'll also notice down there, my flowers are missing. My pure lilies are gone because I moved them somewhere. We're going to go take a look. I also found something else out cool about our boots. Watch this. Whoosh. No damage. That's pretty cool. So not only does it make us move fast and jump high, it also prevents us from getting hurt. Alright. So last episode I had 2 lilies here. I was putting the smooth stone down, waiting for it to turning to living rock, I should pronunciate, and it was taking a long time. So, looking at a build on Riskable's YouTube channel, a build I had used before in Cloud 9, I automated a little bit of what we're doing. So, we can see here, we now have 4 of our pure daisies, not pure lilies, pure daisy. We have 2 long rows of the living rock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift mine these so that we can vein mine them. Boom, what do we get? 24 living rock. So we got 24 of those things. So it's not too bad. I'm going to throw those in there. As you can see, I've got a bit of a collection of living rock. So let me take a look, and I'll show you at what I have set up here, which is a copy of what I've seen on Riskable's channel. I'll put a link to Riskable's YouTube channel in the notes below. You'll notice in episode 9 there was also a link. I'm going to do it again because, quite frankly, I really like his channel. He's got lots of good stuff on there. So let's look at the build here. So what are we doing? We have some running water, which runs underneath this cobblestone. This cobblestone is currently holding our lava in place. So the lava will drip down to here. The smooth water runs in, and when they meet, they make smooth stone because they are not immediately next to each other. Normally, if you put them only one block apart, you're going to get cobblestone. I believe if you put the water 2 blocks away, because it's the running water, not the source block that gets to here, you get smooth stone instead. So that saves us from having to cook our cobblestone and waste a lot of coal. And that also saves us from having to go collect cobblestone, which is the big thing. So lava drips down, the water runs in, they collide and make smooth stone. I've doubled this up so we have the same thing mirrored over here. Now, how does that help us? There's smooth stone in there, and that doesn't get us out to the daisies. Well, what we have back here is we have a piston and a piston. So when the smooth stone, when the stone is created, we want the piston to push it out. So the problem is I could put a lever there, but then I have to keep clicking it. So what I did is I made a redstone clock. Let's look at what that takes to make. It was pretty cheap. Clock. There we go. It was pretty cheap. So it's stone, 4 pieces of stone, 4 pieces of redstone, and a redstone torch, which, if you don't know, is a stick and a piece of redstone on top. So the redstone torch is often used to give us a source of redstone to activate items. Unfortunately, it's always on, so it's kind of hard to... you have to do something special to control it. So what we've done is in this... pack, which is extra utilities, they have a redstone clock. So we built one of those because when we put it down, it will tick redstone every couple seconds. Maybe. This normally works. There we go. That was a bit of a lag. So, as you can see, the pistons are working. So as the stone forms, the pistons push it out. Now, the pistons can only push so far. Whoa, that was... Okay, I'm getting in some lag issues here. Alright, we're okay though. So what happens is the pistons can only push out to 12 blocks. So it's pushed out to our 12th block, which is why we have our 3 daisies. Ah, whoa, okay. We're having some issues here. That's fine, we can keep going. So the pushes out a row of 12 stone. There is a row of 13th piece of stone down here, but because it is the 13th piece, the piston is not strong enough to push it out, so it stops there, which is great for us because now we can predictably choose where to put our daisies. So the daisies, as you can see, are currently working on the stone. Oh, there we go. Got our first piece changing. And we're going to wait a couple seconds and we're going to see they're going to just change the whole row. And that is going to eventually give us 12 in this row and 12 in that row. So you can see they've all changed. We're going to shift mine. And if there wasn't lag, it would pop them all out. So we're going to see what that's going to achieve. Maybe nothing. That is not what I want. Okay, well that went away. Alright. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we picked it all up. It's a bit of an interesting piece of lag. So as we can see, once we cleared the blocks, the pistons can now push the next set out. And now we can walk away and do something else. The pure daisies, we'll turn these into living rock, and we'll come back, we'll mine them, pop them into our chest, and the pistons will automatically push out the next batch of stone. So it's great because the biggest thing that's saving us is having to mine and cook this stone, because that was taking forever, and quite frankly, I was running out of cobblestone, so that was going to be a bit of an issue. As we're here, let's get into our quest book, and let's see how far we can get down the magical... Oh, okay, before we do that, what did I get? I did find something that we can use to finish another quest. I managed to find, is it here? Wool of the Bat. Now, where did I find that? Well, I found that by going over here and trying to figure out why all the villagers seem to have all these empty houses around, but they all want a slumlord here in this one house. You can see they're all kind of gathered in there. One of the villagers actually trades emeralds. This will be nice. Hi, vendor. Actually trades emeralds for wool of the bat. So occasionally the villagers seem to drop some emeralds, which is how I've been finding them so far. And I use those to trade with them. So we have some wool of the bat. So let's knock off this quest on this page. Detect. Claim. Done. Look at that. So we have our Steve, the inventor, so we still have our Steve carts. Again, the thing holding us back right now is the fact that we need our creosote oil, and I don't have a coke oven right now. So I will avoid doing that for the moment. Let's throw this in with our other bags. So we're up to 9. I will probably do another bonus episode for the blind bags once we get a bunch of them. Just that way we're not taking up time in a normal episode to go through those. So, which I should probably do one. I guess I'll have to do one quite frequently because we're getting a lot of them. Alright, let's check out our quest book. Let's get back into our magical flowers. And let's see what else we can come up with. So, one of 2 retrieval tasks. We're going to make a day bloom, which is we're finally getting into some mana generation. So day blooms, when they're in the sunlight, will create mana. We're going to harness that mana into a mana pool, and that will allow us to use the mana to create things like runes and special effects and things like that. It's also going to ask us to make 2 nightshades, but luckily, when we opened up one of our blind bags in the bonus episode, we got a stack of nightshade. So we actually have some of these already. So let's go find where those are. There we go. So we have a stack of nightshades. So we're going to take 2 of those. So shortcut. Bam. We will still look at how to make both of those, though. We'll look at the recipe at least for nightshades. I will take these for the day bloom. Alright, so let's check our quest book. So the nightshade... Nope, not that. Not that. So the nightshade, what we'd have to do is we put some mystical gray petal, 2 mystical black petals, and a purple petal into our petal apothecary, throw a seed in, and boom, we'd have a nightshade flower. But because we have them, we don't have to do that. Haha. Let's detect. That's complete. Let's check out our day blooms. What do we need to make our day bloom? We need a yellow, an orange, and a light blue. Alright, so let's check our bag. We're going to pull out our flower pouch because we can. Click the flower pouch. So you can see I've done a little bit of collecting, so that's pretty cool. I believe it was light blue, purple, and I want to say yellow. We're going to get 2 per, aren't we? Alright, let's take a peek again, because my memory is not so great. Yellow, orange, and light blue. Not purple, orange. Okay, I got those 2. Alright, so again, to get, much like we saw last time, to get our petals, we're going to put our mystical flower into the grid. It's going to give us 2 petals per flower. Boom. Alright, so what are we going to... Let's put this up here. Let's put that up there. We need a 2 yellow, an orange, and a blue. So, let's go over here. We're going to stand on top just so it drops in. I'm going to hit Q to drop the item in my hand. Orange, blue. Oh, right, I have to do 2 of those, don't I? Alright, well, let's do this. Boom, that's a day bloom. Ooh. Let's check our achievements. Botania. Let's look at Botania. So, we have the realistic logical ideologist, which was when we got our book. Pick up a mystical flower from the world, which is taken. Daybreak, we just received. And then there's a vivid wave. Craft a mana pool to store mana. I think we're going to do that pretty quick here. Oh, interesting. These have changed a little bit. Noisy lover soul. Interesting. Oh, right, that one. Alright, so there's... what I really want to get over to is this right here. This is the mana pistol, which is going to allow us to shoot mana around. With a special lens in it, we can use it to create light, and it will actually replace our torches. Which would be cool, because then we can stop using coal for those. Which will also be cool. Alright, so what do we need here? We've got that. We need a blue. We need an orange. And then I'll get another yellow out. So let's drop the orange. Let's drop the blue. Let's check our flower pouch. What did I say? Yellow. Let's get the yellow. Pull you up there. 2 of those. And bam. 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 There. Now we have 2 day blooms. Put that in there. Refill that. Alright, so quest book. Let's detect. I guess it's auto-detecting. So, blind bag claim done. Look at that. Energy retrieval. 1 of 5 retrieval tasks. Okay, that's fine. We got mana pool. Create a mana pool, a mana spreader, which is going to allow us to shoot mana around. Diluted mana pool. I wonder why we'd make a diluted one. We have to make the other one already. Mana powder. I forget how to make that. We'll find out in a moment. Endoflame. Yes, we want an endoflame. I'll show you why. Once we get there, I'll let you know why. Let's go back to the start. Okay, let's get our mana pool here. What do we need to create our mana pool? Look at. Do you think we have some living rock? I think we have a little bit of living rock. I think we'll be okay. Alright, so let's go over and we'll grab some living rock. Oops. Get that. Let's check. Let's double check. What's the diluted one take? Slab. Okay, that's fine. So we'll keep this on us for the moment. Let's go over here. Let's do slabs. Which I believe. Diluted mana pool. Vivid wave. Let's do a real mana pool. Luckily, we don't have to do that anymore because that seemed kind of silly. That's complete. That's incomplete. Alright, let's look at our mana spreader. Alright. So, gold and any petal and some living wood. So put the living wood here. So we need 6 pieces of that. 6. And do I have an extra petal kicking around? You know what? Even if I do, it's probably faster just to do this. Let's do the cyan. Alright, so what are we doing here? You know what? We're going to find a piece of gold, aren't we? There we go. Alrighty, so we are about to get into some mana generation. So, that there, and a gold piece mana spreader. Done. Now, what do we have to throw in? Gunpowder. Right, okay. We have some of that. So, a lot of the recipes in Botania, we're going to be able to throw stuff into a mana pool, and it's going to produce something new. As you can see, this is 1 of 20, so we can do redstone. Oh, those will produce mana powder. At some point, sugar. Nice. Okay, well, that'll be easier. We'll do some sugar because we've got a lot more of that than we do gunpowder. We can also use the powder that we can use by grinding up the petals from the magical flowers. Down here you can see there's a bar, and that's telling us that we need this much mana, about 1 pixel's worth, in order to create our mana powder. So every time you throw something in, it's going to consume some mana in order to pump something out. Later on you're going to see we're going to be able to produce, there's 2 different types of blocks we can put underneath the mana pool, which will allow us even more transitions of things to change items into other items. That was descriptive. Right, so that's fine. We've got these. We need to set these up somewhere on soil. Of course, now I need to go find if I have any dirt. We have our dirt. We've got 19 pieces. Where do we want to set this up? We could set this up right here. So, what do we want to do? We've got dirt there. So we can alternate. You know what, let's just do this. Alright, so the day blooms we definitely do not want next to each other. That's going to be a bad thing. So, let's get our day blooms here. Let's set up a bit of a checker pattern. Do that, do that. So we can do the day blooms there. Right. You know what, let's just do this. Let's just get it over with. Take a day bloom there, and we'll put a night bloom and a night bloom right there. Okay, that works. Alright. Alright, so we have those. We need to put down our mana pool. You know what, let's put down the diluted mana pool. Why am I putting down the diluted mana pool? Because these are not going to produce a lot of... these are not going to produce a ton of mana, so I am... oops. There we go. Alright. Now, why did I do that? That was awfully silly, wasn't it? So, I put the mana spreader up here, but you'll notice it's pointing up. That doesn't work, because there's nothing up there for it to hit. So, what we're going to do is we have our Wand of the Forest we made last episode, so we can see right now, by hovering over a Botania item, it will show us some info. So when we hover over our flowers, it says unknown status, and it has a little X next to the mana spreader, because these are not linked to anything. So if you make sure your cursor's on nothing, and you shift right click, we are going to change the mode, so we can go to bind mode and function mode. So we want to set to bind mode. We are going to click our day bloom, and we're going to click our mana spreader. We're going to shift right click our day bloom, and we are going to shift right click our mana spreader. You're going to see that that gave us a little function there. We're also going to shift click our mana spreader, and we're going to shift right click our mana pool. So that's going to direct our mana spreader into our mana pool. So we're going to do the same thing, shift right click, shift right click. That's directing our nightshade at our mana spreader. Shift right click, shift right click. And we'll do that for these as well. So here's the deal. The nightshades will send minuscule amounts of mana to the mana spreader at nighttime, which will, once this fills up, once it has enough mana in it, it will shoot a charge into the mana pool. So this is a diluted mana pool, which means it doesn't hold nearly as much mana as our full-sized mana pool, which, funny enough, is actually the same size as that. The issue being that when you have a full mana pool, the amount of mana that these put in there, you're barely going to see anything move. By using the diluted mana pool, we're actually going to be able to see progress on this. So that's why I'm using that. So I'm going to switch here back to function mode, and we're going to see those are all fine. So what I can do is, oh, did I need to change that? Oops. Okay, let's switch back to bind mode. So shift right click, shift right click. All right. So when we're in function mode and you right click on a mana spreader, you can actually aim it to a different spot. So it's great if you're way far away from what you need to have it hit. It's a little hard to aim, but that's fine. So you'll see down here on our diluted mana pool, we have an arrow that's pointing from the right side to the left side. On the left side, that is a mana tablet. So this is a way that we can set the mana pool to drain the mana out of the mana pool and into a tablet. A tablet is basically a portable mana tool. So we can recharge our tablet. It's like a mana battery, if you will. And by keeping it on us, it will fuel our Botania items that require mana to operate. I'm going to shift right click this, and we're going to go back to the arrow pointing at the mana pool, which says that it wants to receive mana and fill up. So we can see we're actually already receiving some mana there, just because we use the diluted pool. If we're using the normal pool, we would not be able to see much there. The other thing we needed to do for this was we need to make some mana powder, and I am going to do that by making the sugar, because I don't want to use our gunpowder, or our redstone, because that's way too useful when we have basically an unlimited amount of sugar. You can see now by hovering the cursor over the mana pool, we can see the sugar is showing us the sugar will change to mana powder. But it has an X over it. That's telling us there is not enough mana in this mana pool yet. So we'll have to wait and let it fill up. We can just drop it in there. I can hit Q, and if I back away, it's going to live there for a bit until either it gets enough mana there to make the mana powder, or it despawns. So I'll pick it back up again, because obviously I don't want it to despawn. Oh, you can see there was a particle effect. The mana spreader received enough mana to build up to shoot down into there, and you can see now our graphics are telling us there's a check mark, so we can throw this in there. Bam! What do we get? Mana powder. Look at that. Now we have to wait for this to refill again. So why would I not just make a field of these day blooms and nightshades? Well, two things. The day blooms don't work well next to each other. If they're exactly neighboring each other, they actually have a reduced return. And quite frankly, these put out very little mana to begin with. So you always want to at least have them kitty corner. I believe you can put them kitty corner. I put them one block apart just in case, because quite frankly, I plan on only ever making these two day blooms. Why would I not make a bunch of them? Because they produce so little mana, and these are temporary flowers. Let's see. Let's go find our Botania book. So what happens with temporary flowers is they will actually go away after a while. Let's see. Pure Daisy, Runic Altar. Where is the... Let's look back at the flowers. There we go, creating. So let's look at the day bloom here. The day bloom is the most basic and rudimentary generating flower. Simply put, it performs a modified photosynthesis process in order to transform sunlight into mana. The process is rather slow, but about half a dozen of these should get the job done for now. Day blooms are classified as passive flowers. That's the word I was looking for, which means they will decay after some use. They will produce feeble amounts of mana to begin with, so perhaps hastily upgrading to endoflames or other active flowers once available might be a good idea. I agree. So, we have one mana powder. Let's see if we have enough to make another one. Nope, not yet. The nice thing about having the nightshades and the day blooms is that at nighttime the nightshades produce mana, at the daytime the day blooms produce mana, so you're not waiting for a change of the day. Quite frankly though, if you have a sleeping bag or a bed nearby, waiting for the sun to rise is never an issue, because you can just make it rise whenever you want. Alright, so now we have two of those. Let's grab our quest book. Let's figure out what's next. So we have the mana powder. We need to make the endoflame. That is not how you make an endoflame. Right, so we need a mana powder for the mana pool, and some brown petals, red and light gray. Alright, so we're going to make two of these because we can. So, we need brown. What was it? Brown. Boy, oh boy. Nope. Nope. Interesting. Day bloom into day bloom. Ah, interesting. Okay. not what we're looking for. Alright, so 2 brown, a red, and a light gray. 2 brown, a red, and a light gray. So, I need another brown, because we're going to make 2 of these. Brown, oops. Light gray. Wow. Okay, what was the other one? Man. Let's see, light gray and red. Wow. Okay. Apparently I need some more sleep. So, you know what? Let's get rid of some excess items here. Just because that's fine. Let's do. Oh, we do. Still have that cyan left too. We'll put that in there. Brown, we need 4 of. Put those up there. Looks like I did not get my red. Alright, yeah, the lag on here today is something awful. Or maybe my mouse wheel is just skipping, but I think it's the lag. Okay. Yes, I am going to blame the lag. Thank you very much. Alright, so we need 2 more seeds, because this can't happen without seeds. 2. Alrighty, so what are we going to do? We're going to do drop that, we'll drop that, and we'll drop those. Did they make it in? Yes. Okay. And drop a seed. Oh. Except, of course, I forgot one of the most important parts. There we go. Helps if I actually put the right stuff in. Alright, so we put a seed in. Assuming. There we go. Meltdown. Endoflame. Alright, let's make another one of those. Because we can. Hello. There we go. Alright, so throw that in there. Open up our inventory. Let's toss that. Let's toss that. We'll toss that. Did they all end up in there? There we go. Okay. that was a little disconcerting. All right. Toss that in there. I may have to do something to look at that lag. All right, and just for fun, let's toss these 2 in here. Because we can. Let's let that sit in there. All right, so endoflames. What did they do? Well, endoflames, we are going to plant. Well, apparently we need another piece of dirt. I'm going to plant the endoflame right here. So, endoflames. Thank you. Boom. So what does an endoflame do? That's fine. Well, so what happens is our endoflame is actually creating mana. We can see the nice thing about this one. Sorry, I'm thinking of the exoflame. Endoflame is another way to generate mana by burning things. So by tossing the charcoal onto there, it started on fire. It's now producing mana and sending it over to the mana spreader. Nice thing about having a mana spreader in the world already is when you put flowers near it, they will automatically connect to the nearest mana spreader. So you can use your wand of the forest to direct them to different mana spreaders if you need. But luckily they don't need to, because they will usually do it all by themselves. So we have that all complete. Done. Claim. What's next? Ooh, tools. Pulse mana spreader. Cool. Inkwell. Oh, I don't know what that one is. Fell pumpkin. Interesting. Okay. Alright. What's that? Scribing tools. How do we make scribing tools? Glass file, feather. Glass file is clay and glass. Oh, there's 3 glass. It's hard to see. And, okay, so luckily we have some glass. 2, 3. Some clay somewhere. Not that one. Not that one. Was it that one? It was. Silly me. So let's make our file to begin with. There's 8 of them. Let's throw that into there. We also needed some black floral powder, didn't we? Alright, so knock knock. Who's there? Well, that's rude, isn't it? There we go. Alright. So, alright, you know what? This is ridiculous. Okay. So you know what? Tell you what. We've gotten into some stuff here. We finished a quest or 2. So let's you know what? I'm going to call it quits there. We are going to I'm gonna take a look and try and figure out what's causing all this lag, because this is getting a bit ridiculous. Having to go 3 doors 3 times. This is going to be very difficult later on in the series if I have to keep doing that. So we are going to call it quits there for this episode. I will get back to you soon with a brand new episode, and we will get further into our quest book and Botania. Alright, thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.